Hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. So today we're going to be working on my 1980 Yamaha Champ. This is a 49cc scooter and it's two-stroke oil injected scooter. That I have this little sissy bar that I welded on from like a 85 Honda motorcycle, but anyways, this thing runs and rides fine and everything, but the gas tank is rusted up and it plugs the carburetor up, so I need to clean the gas tank, and I have a rebuild kit here, top end rebuild kit with a piston to do the engine over, because one time when I was a kid, I ran this thing out of oil because I didn't realize that I had to mix the oil together in it. I've owned this thing probably for 20 plus years, but yeah, this is the kit I got here. It's like a niche cylinder. This is just a spare cylinder head or bore, whatever you want to call it. This one's broken, but this is the part number that I got of the kit. Comes with piston, studs, spark plug, gaskets, and then the head. The only thing that I don't think this comes with is like a new exhaust gasket, but I could just make one out of it, make a gasket, or possibly reuse what I got here. But yeah, so we'll just get into this and we'll start tearing it apart. Just got to take this cover off, and then we'll pull the carburetor off, and then we'll probably pull the head off. I've never done anything scooter motorcycle related, but it's pretty simple, can't be hard to figure out. Now if you don't know, these are a 6-volt system, so this battery here really just does nothing but for the lights. I don't know if you can run the bike without this battery, but this battery is completely stone dead anyways. It doesn't hold a charge no matter what. But I'm gonna start disconnecting the throttle cable and unbolting the carburetor right here. Two screw, and the throttle cable comes out. These two vacuum lines. And then the main bolt that holds it on is just a Phillips. Slide it back and pop it off. So I gotta disconnect the there's like a little oil line that goes down here. I'm pretty sure that's the oil line. And I got one more vacuum line. Two bolts, and that's loose, and you can probably just leave it dangling. There'll probably be enough room. So I wasn't too sure how to get this jug off. I thought maybe I had to take one of these case bolts out. I mean, maybe that is the right way, but I figured I'd just try and tap it with a hammer, and I just started to move, so. It's coming off. Okay, jug's out. There's the piston. She's pretty scored up. So now I gotta figure out how to take this out. I'm gonna try and take these studs out too, vice grips or double nuts. Okay, so it looks like there's two little snap ring type things on the piston here that I'm gonna try and take off. I don't know if I can get you in here to show you, but you see that little snap ring thing in there? I gotta try and pry that out of there, and it comes with two new ones. Okay. We got a little roller bearing, which they give you a new one of, but you need to reuse the pin, because I don't have a new one of those. This one is completely gone. They got pins to hold the rings in, and this one's completely gone. Okay. Now let's put the new one in. So this piston has an arrow on it. When you put it back into the bike, arrow's got to go down. So I'll take our bearing and we'll just slide it in there now so we don't forget. Take our pin and we'll try and start it now. It's much nicer. So much smoother, you shouldn't have to beat that out. So now I'm actually going to comes with 2 new pins and 2 new piston rings. Trying to put the pins in now, or one of them. Yeah, snapped it in the hole, in the little hole there, in the groove. Maybe not. Yeah, actually I think they are. Yeah, I think they're exactly the same. I'm looking at the old piston, the way that the rings go, the tips. These tips go up. And yeah, and they have little like roll pins for where the gap needs to go. So there's the second one, and then there's the first one. So I'll just try and line these up. One. Oh. And there's the top ring. Okay, I don't really know if that 100% matters, but we're gonna try and line them up like that. So I don't know if this 100% matters, but it seems like it would be a good idea too. So I'm gonna dip this bearing in some oil, some 2-stroke oil. Okay. Push it all the way over to the rod, all the way over to the other lock that's in there, and then we'll install the other lock. I'm basically just taking this and putting it in pliers and putting this end in first, and then just kind of rolling it in. And there you go, it's in. So there's two different length threads on these studs. The longer ones go into the engine itself. Okay, now all the studs are in. Gonna put the gasket on for around the head, or the, I don't know what the hell you would call that, the jug. Probably would have been smart to put this on before everything else, but here we are. Now this part might get a little tricky because I don't have a ring compressor for this, and I don't really know how I'm going to do this, but we're just going to try and send her, see what happens. Okay, worked. You just squeeze them together with your fingers slowly and push it in. Goes right on. Look at that. All right. So now I got the cylinder head next. I actually have a sandblaster, so I'm going to just quickly tape this up and just tape probably this section off right here and just sandblast the rest of this, and then put a quick spritz of paint on it. Okay, and I'm gonna put the head gasket on. This one you gotta be really careful with because it bends easy. Like real easy. It's super thin metal. Easy way to bring it in is just push in on the studs a little bit, and then you can just slide it in. The stud moves a tiny bit. See how the stud moves a little bit? Just push it up, push it in, push it in. Basically, I want to push it to the center of the cylinder. Oh, shit. Gotta break that out. Shit's broken anyways. This thing used to have big fairings, but it got broken off long time ago. And with that out of the way, it slides right on. Okay, I'm gonna put the 4 new nuts that it came with on there. So I'm not gonna torque these because I don't know the spec and they really weren't that tight anyways, and I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Just snug them up pretty tight and they should be good to go. It's not like a car, it doesn't really matter. A gasket's basically a piece of fucking aluminum sheet metal. Yeah, that's probably all it needs. Time for a new spark plug. This is the kind of plug that came in the kit. Okay, that completes the top end portion. Now we'll take apart the bowl and the carb, make sure there's nothing in there, and then I'll move on to taking this gas tank out and we'll flush it out. Oh, look at that. That's some gelled up fuel and some rust. So it's a good thing we're doing this. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but the twist tie straw's got a little metal thing on the inside of it. And it works good for cleaning out the jets here. You know, you can unscrew these and clean them out, but I'm going to be lazy because they don't really look clogged. Put your rod in and slide around. Okay. Okay, now I'll put this back on the car. Or the bike, not the car. Well, I ended up getting the carburetor back on, and I ended up bolting the exhaust on too. There was kind of a gasket in that thing, and I ended up just putting a thin layer of Honda bond on there as extra reinsurance too. But with about the 4 vacuum lines here, I'll put a diagram up so you can see them, so you can figure it out easier. But there's just one over here that goes on the bottom that's not on the diagram, and then this one, the front port here goes to the bottom port of your petcock, and then this one is the fuel line, which is 3/16. So now I'm going to take this tank off, which is this bolt, and I believe these 2 nuts back here, and then it slides off, and then there's that oil line right back in there, and then there's this fuel line, which I'm going to replace, which is, oop, not that one. See if I can get you over there. That one with the zip tie on it. It's 3/16 too. So I'm going to take it off, and then we'll get back and we'll put some marbles and CLR or something that I'm going to go buy at the store to slosh around in the gas tank only, not the oil tank. Alright, well, I couldn't find any marbles or any CLR at the dollar store, so I got some vinegar and some Totally Awesome, and I got a couple of nuts down there that I'm just going to put in there and slosh around and shake her up. And I just got some hoses with the studs that were bent stuck in the hose so nothing leaks. Now just shake her up. Alright, I took the lid off here and shook it around some to make it easier. But now we're gonna dump it out in here and see how much crap came out. also gonna pour some fresh gas in here, flush some of this other stuff out. So that's what was in there, all this and this. So definitely needed it. But now I'm gonna assemble all this and put the tank back on, and then once I'm done with all that, we'll get back and I'll try and start it. Alright, so I'm gonna pour just a little bit of gas in it because I want to go to the gas station and get some fresh 93, because I think this is 93, but I'm not 100% sure how old it is and whatnot. Might take a few kicks until the fuel gets up to the carburetor. Just broke the freaking throttle. Well, I just broke the throttle somehow, busted up in here, but let's see if it starts. Might be able to just rev it up down here. First try. Well, I just took the cover off of this and I've been, you move that and it revs it up. But I gotta take the throttle apart now and probably buy a new throttle or something. But yeah, she runs. So now I just need to get 2 new tires, the throttle now, mount a mirror on it, and put a battery in it, and we're good to go to ride again. But that's gonna wrap up this video. But appreciate you watching, and if you're subscribed, I appreciate you a bunch. And if you're not, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see what's gonna happen, oops, she died. But if you want to see what's gonna happen next, which is probably gonna be the exhaust on my all-wheel drive hatch, keep an eye out for the next video. See you later.